Once Capcom allowed the series director to return to the franchise, Dante will be given new life and begin his journey of becoming the most iconic hack-and-slash character in gaming. What's good? It's Saggi, and we're here to go over some of the worst things about DMC3. Let's start with the best and worst part, the enemies. You start the game fighting a variety of fodder that can easily be dispatched with good positioning and straight up beating their ass. But the combat designers were like, what if the player couldn't style on the enemy? Introducing pieces of shit. These enemy types disrupt the flow of combat as well as slow some sections to a crawl. These bitches can phase through walls, similar to sin scissors and scythes. But why the fuck can they gain invulnerability? These enemies want to play the game like DMC2 and just want you to blast them. At least until their blood shield is gone. But be quick or you'll have to blast them again. Oh, and if you melee them, they'll split apart like plasmas in DMC1. I get that they want you to have variety in your playstyle, but forcing the player to do so is not the move. If you've played both the first and third games of the saga, you'll for sure see some striking similarities that are more than just inspiration. For example, there's a mission in DMC1 where you acquire an item that constantly drains your HP and must be slotted in that door to proceed to the next stage. Sound familiar? There are many examples of the game taking missions from 1 and fitting them in the setting of 3. This isn't the most problematic thing in the world, but I wish there was more originality to the levels presented in 3, like having to destroy mirrors to cause damage to enemies. If you didn't already know somehow, this is the game that officially introduces styles, and with them comes levels. Styles have 3 levels and they all require the same amount of XP to reach the max. The biggest problem here is that the XP gained isn't mutual, meaning you'll have to manually switch styles at a statue or the mission debrief to gain XP for it. You could play through the entire game and only manage to upgrade a single style to level 3, and that's if you never switch off of it. Funnily enough, this is the only semblance of XP in the game, so you actually don't upgrade your guns or swords in that manner. You would think this would be changed in the Switch version due to it having all styles at your disposal, but nope. Still only the active styles gain XP. I feel as though this discourages the player to branch out to different styles from the thought of wasting XP or losing XP in essence. We all know DMC3 has some amazing boss encounters, but let's talk about the bad ones. There are some real stinkers that snuck their way into this title. They only serve the purpose of showing us that they can do decent boss designs. Everyone talks about Arkham's boss fight, but what about Mary's? What about the Doppelganger? In my opinion, the most lackluster boss battles are the ones that introduce an irritating mechanic, like needing to chase a horse around a coliseum. DMC3 isn't just great for the flashy combat, but how various mechanics affect them. Going from a stinger into million stab never gets old. Why is million stab so satisfying? Well, because it's a good ass move, but also because it's a part of the crazy combo family. These extensions of moves usually hit multiple times, but they also are linked to your style rank. The higher your style rank, the more hits you can execute from the move. That's cool and all, but why isn't this told in the tutorials? You can feel it, yeah, but what if you just think it's a placebo and blow it off? There are a few mechanics like this that aren't immediately obvious, like jump canceling to reset air actions, and even taunting gives you DT. But hey, at least they explained the DT explosion. Some moves are activated like a physical attack, but function like a projectile. Nevin is the obvious example, but there are moves like Tempest as well. These moves are outright ineffective to some enemies and have interesting hitboxes. But what do you think? Maybe you wish they'd added a bit more to Bloody Palace. Maybe you want to play through Mary's perspective in the same vein as Virgil. Maybe you hate ripping and running around a 10-minute groove finding items. Let me know below. Like, subscribe, notif bell, etc. I'm Saggi and I'm also out.